Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and today we're putting together our little tulip baskets. Very simple little project if you're looking to maybe give somebody a quick little gift for any occasion, really. Could work for Mother's Day or just because. I think this is just the right size for maybe even some seed packets. But either way, very simple. This one is going to take less than 5 minutes, I'm sure, maybe even less than that. But anyway, let me show you what I have here in front of me. Now, this is one of the panels that I've already pre-assembled, just so that you don't have to do things redundantly. We've got 3 layers that will all come together to create this. This is the back layer. So we're going to take and glue this layer to the back layer. So go ahead and get that glue flowing. And as always, the colors that I used here are located in your PDF as well as on the website. Okay, so we'll take that and glue that, and you want to just line that up with the back layer as accurately as you can. Okay, now I did ink this with, this was like a, kind of like a orangey red, I forget which color it was. Use my Memento inks, and I also ran this and one part of the handle through an embossing machine. This is the discontinued Tiny Dot folder, but there's another one out there that's very similar. So just do a Google search for Tiny Dot embossing folder, and it'll pop up for you. Okay, so there's that. You'll notice here that I also glued some rhinestones to that, so you can do that as well if you'd like. Now here is the main structure, and you can see that I inked this with a little bit of a brown as well. What we're going to do is we're going to put some glue on this tab and connect it to this section here to kind of close it up and make it all one continuous piece. Okay, I'm going to spread that glue out to the very edge, and then you can actually put this down flat and then grab the other side and just line it up. Should pretty much line up, but mine kind of didn't, and I'm going to blame that on the fact that I used the solid score tool with my maker. Sometimes it doesn't match up perfectly, so I just did it like you just saw me do it. And then take a look, make sure that seam looks good. Mine does. And actually, what we can do, let's do this while it's flat. Now you'll notice on 2 sides, one on this side, one on this side, that you have some markers here. Now that's for the handle, okay? And let me just make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay, so the handle, that's the side that we're gonna put the panels on, okay? So it's the side with the little markers. That's where the panel's gonna go. So we'll put this one on real quick, and we're just gonna do that while it's flat. That way it's a lot easier to push down and make sure it stays in place without potentially warping or ruining the actual basket itself. We want to make sure that when we place this, we center it so that you have a nice even border all the way around, like so. And then the other design, the other half of this, is going to go on the back. Again, just make sure that you are putting it on top of where you see those little score marks. Now we're going to use those score marks we're going to use those score marks to help us with the placement of the handle. But of course, you're wondering, well, why are you covering it up? Well, you can actually still see it from the inside, so not a big deal. Okay, so let's get that in place, just like that. There we go. We got it on both sides. I'm going to put rhinestones on the other side as well. Let's close this up now. We'll apply our glue to the 3 remaining tabs. It's okay if you leave a little extra, because I'm going to run that glue all the way out to the edge of the tabs to make everything look nice and seamless. So feel free to do that. And then we'll close it up. Okay, helps to slightly lift these up so that as you're pulling this down, it grabs more of the surface. And make sure you line it up with this side here, the side opposite of the side that it's already connected to. And just kind of run your fingers along the perimeter here. Make sure that's all making good contact. You can flip it over and then press down from the inside to help the rest of those tabs make nice contact. Take a look at your work. Everything should look nice and flush. Mine does. And we'll take a little bit of glue, pop it inside here. Then we're going to take this piece and pop it right in there to cover up the tabs and to make it a little bit stronger, just like that. Okay, so it almost looks like, based on this color, like a little planter, which is cute. Okay, so all that's left is the handle. Now what I would suggest doing is taking this and just kind of training it between your fingers to give it a little bit of an arc. Okay, so that when we glue these two together, they're already somewhat in the position that they will eventually be in. Okay, and then they won't fight too much or try to pull apart. Okay, so that's going to go right in the center of the other one, and I'm actually going to, as this is drying, bend it into shape here. So go ahead and apply your glue. You definitely want to make sure that you get enough glue at the very tips on the ends here. So we'll go back to the top there and add a little extra, because that's the part where it tends to want to kind of disconnect, so to speak. Okay, I'm going to put this down flat just to make sure that I get it centered properly. That looks good. And then immediately bring it up and start holding it in place while it really sets. You can kind of take your finger and press down all the way around. Okay, and keep it in that shape. Okay, and then all that's left to do now, you'll see here on these sides where we have the panels, you should be able to see the little score marks, and we're going to use those for alignment. So that's going to get glued in right there. So what we can actually do is we can take and put our glue in that little area. You don't want to go beyond the little score marks, so keep it all in place and get that nice and centered. Make sure that it is straight up and down on that side. I think I have that centered. There we go. And just continue to hold. Let that sit. Let that set. Let it sit while it sets. And then I'll throw a couple of rhinestones in between the flowers as well. Maybe one on top, just to finish it off. Okay, so we've got that side glued into place. We'll take our glue, and again, using those little markers as your guide, we'll take this other side and just tuck it right in there. Make sure that it's nice and straight. All right, so that's pretty much it. And then again, if you want to adorn this with a few little rhinestones, you can do so, but you know, throw a little bit of crinkle fill in there, or some of that Easter grass in a nice coordinating color. Add your little treats or whatever it is you want to do, and you're good to go. Now this actually would be a nice little place setting piece for, say, a dining room table, especially one that features our little windmill that so many of you have already made. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, head over to our YouTube and hit that subscribe button. And while you're there, hit the little bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product. And if you make this or anything from our new Tulip Time bundle, I would love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook, do a search for Dreaming Tree Group, or you can type in this little URL and it'll take you directly to the site. But anyway, I had a great time. I hope you did as well. And as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.